Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Healing Step to Wellness with May and Dr. J. Today is my pleasure, our pleasure, to have our best friend, Ron Hanson, to be our guest. And Ron is a guru in marketing area that he has more than 40 years of experience in radio, TV, print, digital, all kinds of media that you can think of. So I am going to have Ron to introduce himself as his list going on and on. It's better for him to tell you about himself. And one of the reasons I feel a pleasure and also an honor to have Ron at our show is he has done a tremendous work, great work at our community of wellness symposium and gala co-MC in the past several years. And there are a couple times he even handled all the MC work by himself. And it's just such a we all have a great fun time to having him at our conference. So here you go, Ron.
All right. Thank you, May and Dr. J. Excited to be on this podcast. It's wonderful. One thing, just like you mentioned a little bit about myself, over 40 years in marketing. And of course, I started when I was like 5 years old. That's why I'm still very young with that. But no, started out actually, I wanted to be a radio DJ. So I started out in radio, went to school for radio, television broadcasting. And when I came to the big city of Rochester, I helped start a radio station down in Osage, Iowa. But then when I decided to meet my love of my life and move to Rochester, because she was working as a nurse here, and of course her benefits are much better than a DJ down there. I followed her up here and I went to one of the big radio stations, talked to the gentleman and said, "Hey, I want to be a DJ." And he goes, "Yeah, you could do that, but you'd be great in sales." So ever since I was 11, almost 12 years in radio broadcasting, both on air, marketing, behind the scenes, concerts, and then was hired away by the newspaper. I was the digital manager locally for a big newspaper for 12 years. And then when the newspapers started to kind of downsize, I had an opportunity with a friend that said, "Hey, you should be in television." And of course, I've got a face for radio. So I was behind the scenes and has done television, advertising, marketing, digital, everything for the last 8 years. And then right now I decided as of just, a week ago to retire. So it is wonderful to retire, but I'll still do some marketing on the side, helping clients out. But my background, like is all of that, even social media, helping out with social media, the whole new digital realm. I always say I was digital cool before digital was cool. So I was way back in the days where people started saying, "Well, who needs a web page?" Well, now it's websites, and the world has changed so much. But a friend of mine from IBM took early retirement and kind of taught me everything on the digital end of HTML and the coding. And I tell you, I wish I knew then what I know now, because then I could have retired years ago and been a billionaire.
Well, thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. It's kind
And then,
so go ahead.
no, and I was also going to say too, very active in the community. So, chamber ambassador president. I'm involved in the Rochester Shriners, Mason, involved in the church, involved in a group called Compassionate Friends for those that have lost children, and on and on and on. But I do want to say thank you, and I'll let you go into it about being a co-MC for this wonderful event for the past few years for the Community Wellness and Symposium. I'm not sure why you picked me, but
Well, you already tell the audience about the wonderful thing you have done and your great experience. Of course, we always enjoy to have you. You actually help Lotus Health Foundation tremendously tremendously that with your experience, and you kind of guide us the best way to spread the word, and you have done that heavily. So actually, that's one of my questions. Why you consider to be the MC of Community of Wellness?
Uh, One of the main reasons I think it was just seeing you and Dr. J, your passion for being healthy and getting fit. And that's something myself that in the past I have not been healthy. I've not been fit. And by, I'm not 100% there yet on, everything that was talked about, but I'm incorporating a lot of it into my daily lifestyle. Um, just looking at, I mean, over the past years, the speakers you had are phenomenal. I mean, world renowned speakers that come to Rochester, Minnesota, and they talk about, the reasons behind being healthy, plant-based diet. How do you change your lifestyle? It's not just an overnight thing, and we need it in our mind all the time, but it's just very inspiring. And I wanted to learn so much more. And after the first session I went to, I was hooked and was like, I need to learn more. I want more.
Yeah, so you have been there for several years. Is there any one presentation or topic that gave you the most impact?
I would say the thing that gave me the most impact is just listening to everybody's stories and how they've changed their lifestyle. But also, people have this concept saying, oh, if you're going to be eating healthy, you have to eat crap. It is amazing how many foods and how many good tasting foods you can incorporate into a healthy lifestyle. For me, that was just kind of a mind blowing event that, oh, I thought I just had to eat tofu and stuff that doesn't taste good. Everything that was presented and the meals over the past years were phenomenal. And it's like, hey, I can incorporate this, and you can even do it on a budget. So that's what's really caught me, is just the variety of items that you can use.
Wow, wonderful. So I think so far that you have hosted our event for at least 3 or 4 years.
Yep, 4 years.
So, how does that help you to, in a, a unique way, to share the message about this event, and not only that, what you learn to people who you encounter with? I know you talk to so many people in a community.
I think the biggest thing that was nice about it is that it's education. I learned quite a bit. So when I see somebody that's not quite as healthy, they're going through some diabetes, they're going through maybe some heart issues, they really want to lose lots of weight. I can actually be an advocate for, healthy lifestyle medicine and say, hey, have you ever thought of this? And then directing them to not only the Lotus Foundation website, but other websites of the speakers saying, have you tried this recipe? Have you looked at this? And, how do you take baby steps? Maybe reaching out to the Lotus Foundation to say, hey, how can I get involved, or how can I do baby steps? Because for anybody starting out, it's scary, but it's nice to tell them that, we're here with you. We're here to hold your hand. You'll fall off the wagon, no big deal, but at least I can point them in a direction, and testimonials that said, here's how it's changed somebody else's life. Because nowadays, as everybody knows, there's so much processed foods that have so much crap in them, I say, that it's not healthy. Because I remember the old days where, it was meat and potatoes, but it was what was raised on the farm you ate. It was what's raised in the gardens you ate. Now with the fast food generation, and you don't know what they're putting into it, that I think that's why we have so many more, people getting sick or getting, allergies and things along that line.
Yeah, I remember that. I was growing up on a farm, poor countryside, and a lot of time we didn't even know what the dinner would be. Either my mom would say, go out to catch some fish, or just go out to find something. And then we went to our farm and went home with something, and there was the dinner. But so when you're doing the education, advocating this lifestyle medicine, how you deal with some challenging situations? For example, people will say, "Oh, I'm eating very healthy already," or "That's my genetic, my gene. Everything's my gene."
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that that's into it, but then they say, "Well, I'm eating healthy," but bring out that conversation with them and saying, "Oh, that's wonderful. You're eating healthy. What are some of the things that you're doing to eat healthy?" And just kind of have that honest conversation back and forth. Give them some tips of what you've done. Maybe they're doing something that like, oh, that's kind of a nice idea, but also incorporating, exercise into it as well, because at the symposium they talked about stretching, how to do, some exercises with it. So I think it's just having that honest conversation. You're going to get the namesayers that say, "No, I don't. I eat healthy. I eat my cheeseburgers, or and it's like some people you can never change, but just put that little idea in their mind, and then if they start seeing you being more healthy and more vibrant and more energetic, they might say, "Oh, what are you doing differently?" So it's slowly converting them.
So that's a very good advice. And then I think that's very practical and very reasonable. Um, so this year we moved the seventh annual conference to Mayo Civic Center in a larger scale. So you have seen the growth of the foundation and the event, the scale of the event. Can you tell us, share with the audience, what do you see is something like new, different, and exciting to you as a co-MC at this event?
I think the one thing is getting more people there is number one. Having it kind of a nice neutral location like the Mayo Civic Center, which is well known. It's right downtown in the heart of everything, near Mayo Clinic, near medical Mecca, near Rochester Clinic. So it's a nice location, nice venue, easy parking because there's a parking ramp right there. But what was exciting about it is that there was room to move around. There was room to enjoy yourself and even talk afterwards. The Civic Center did a great job of helping to prepare the foods that we needed, working with our chefs. The other thing is that it allows you to be at one location and expand even more. So in the future, it would be great. We had a lot of folks there that, what I always say, terminology is drink the Kool-Aid, but it would be great to work something into where those that are not doing the healthy lifestyle, get those laymen, the normal people that, there to the conference. And even if it's for one day, it would be great. So, the first day, could be just more introduction and some fun stuff, and then kind of take it from there, because somebody might not have time to do a 2-day symposium, but it was well worth the information, because especially promoting even more the world renowned speakers that are coming in, because nobody's going to have access to that many different speakers at one time at one location.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned about the food. We also had a lot of comments about the food. Did you sense any difference about the food this year versus the previous events?
Yes, actually, I did. The food this year, it seemed it was more creative, more colorful. You incorporated, more, I should say, different types of items. They were, I don't want to say experimenting, but going off of the recipes. There were food items that's like, really, this is what is this? This is phenomenal. I mean, the taste buds for this year compared to last year were twice as much. Last year it was great, but this year you raised the bar. So I'm looking forward to what you're going to do next year, is raise the bar even higher. So you're going
Okay.
to come up with some more creative recipes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what you promised already. Next year, do you know the date that have been set?
No, I don't.
April 9 and 10. That's a
Great.
Thursday and Friday. We have wonderful news. We just received a confirmation from American
Medical Association.
American Medical Association. The president-elect will be presenting next year who will be the president at that time. So we already have the location, keynote set, and we are going to build more structure around the event next year. So save the
Yeah,
date.
as far as I know, it will be the first time a sitting AMA president is coming to Rochester. We had a president-elect or former president before, but this is the first time a sitting president coming to Rochester.
Wow, that'll be very exciting. And I think what's nice about that is incorporating the healthy lifestyle, and you were able to actually do rounds and work with even Mayo Clinic because, everybody needs to know about, healthy lifestyles and getting off of more of these drugs.
Yes. Did you know he is the first physician of lifestyle medicine board certified physician to be the AMA president?
Really? I did not know that. Wow.
Yes.
So his name is Dr. Bobby McMullen.
Okay.
Very, 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 very genuine physician, and he also is board certified in lifestyle medicine. So we are very excited to having him come in to be our guest and also meet with people in Rochester. So one thing I have been curious about Ron, you as a very creative uh, MC. Sometimes you kind of host the event even by yourself. So what really made you so excited about I believe that you have done the MC in many places and many events, but to be the MC here and something that really makes you excited about, and also something like being an MC and you had to be um, kind of a creative and to handle all kinds of last minute situation. So can you share us about some kind of behind the scene?
Oh, it's always fun when, like you said, when you have to fill in some time because maybe a presentation isn't working or the PowerPoint all of a sudden is not getting up on the screen, or maybe part of it too, I think what helped me is having a wonderful co-MC of Denise.
Mm-hmm.
Denise is phenomenal. So I have to give her probably more credit than myself because between yourself, May, and also Denise, everything was pretty much scripted out on what we're going to do, when we're going to do it. Sure, there's some last minute changes or somebody couldn't make it, because as you can tell, I'm very, very shy. So it was hard to fill in stuff. Maybe next year, if I'm asked back, maybe I'll have to include a few more, have some jokes ready that are, appropriate that I can always fill in as well. But otherwise, no, it was, it's kind of interesting behind the scenes because, especially, the IT folks you had were phenomenal. But a couple of times, the speakers brought in their computer and maybe they didn't test it ahead of time, something. But, behind the scenes, I'm trying to talk, and then over in the corner, everybody's trying to plug in about 30 different wires and plug something in and make sure a microphone is working. And so we had to move off to another direction and make some stuff up on the other side. But there's always time, I think, maybe to pick on some people maybe for next year. But I won't say who, May and Dr. J, but hey, never know what might happen.
I know.
Yeah.
We're just
So that's something that, because you are one of very few who has been MC our event for the past 3-4 years. And we usually has a preparation of the theme, what we want to present built on the previous year. And by your past experience, what would you recommend? What would you like to see in the next event?
So kind of as far as speakers or order or things happening?
More of the contents wise. We have the theme already. I'll tell you the theme, but before I do that, I want to see how you feel. Look at the progression. What you recommend, what type of presentation or what type of topics you would like to hear?
Some of the topics that I would like to hear is testimonials. I love testimonials. I think that's even more so. I would like to incorporate not only from the medical side of things, but maybe even a couple of testimonials from somebody that's not a doctor, somebody that's, what I call just a normal person, and what they've done over the past few years, which would be kind of nice to incorporate. Also, maybe even a section on recipes on how to cook. Maybe we'll get a little cooking thing up there. A lot of it can be pre-done, but then how to maybe even, create something on stage, which would be kind of fun. But, the recipes I like, maybe incorporating some of the beverages that you could drink. You could make your famous smoothies or
Yes,
Sure.
actually, you just talk about one of the sessions we're going to do about cooking. So I'm not going to give it away yet, but yes, we do have that. And in terms of non-medical, we were very mindful about having people when they present is really in the layman terms, not to do that in the jargon thing. And we also get very good in that the presenters, when they are presenting in layman terms, after the presentation, they were doing the networking among the presenters, and they can talk about their jargons, and they even got into some discussion designing a research project right on spot.
yeah.
So they were very excited to see. Yeah, but the theme next year we're going to build on, it will be the lifestyle medicine to pathway to longevity and vitality. It's not just living long, but you have to have the vitality.
Oh, very nice. That'll be very good. Yeah, because I think what was really nice is a chance for all the presenters to even come together on stage, and everybody talking at the same time. We can ask questions, and it was just very open-ended, and you never know what the questions people will ask. And it was very nice to actually have that session too.
Wonderful. That kind of remind me, the session we purposely designed for is to bring the local community leaders, including mayor, together at the I think the action plan. So how you feel about it, and what is your take on and your suggestion for the future?
I think it's kind of nice. One thing that, credit to you as well, May and Dr. J, is having a mayor of Rochester that believes in healthy lifestyle. Mayor Norton was wonderful, and she was the type that, you go to a lot of places and they kind of, mayor will show up, hi, here's your speech, and then they leave. She stayed throughout the whole thing and even brought
Yes.
her husband, which was nice. But I have to tell a little funny story is that, she was talking, but for whatever reason, after, her first meeting, somebody came up to me and says, oh, are you going to be at your booth later? And I go, my booth? I don't have a booth. And she goes, oh, aren't you the mayor? And I said, no, I am not the mayor.
Okay. Well, you never
Now you're
know.
retired. You can run for the office now.
Yeah, that's right. People have wanted me to be mayor, but I don't know. I say my piece too much, and I would just get in too much trouble because I say it like it is, whether it's right or left. I don't care. I don't like somebody, I'll tell you.
um, okay. Well, and so okay. Well, one thing I do wanna acknowledge to you, Ron, is this year we brought in more sponsor to set a
Yes.
booth at an event. And you and Denise has been promoting them to shine them all way through. So how you feel about in the future, how to get more business involved with this healthy community?
I think just actually getting some testimonials from maybe those that were there. There was such a nice variety. I don't know, everything from T-Mobile to, air purification to, menus to recipes. So I think it's just letting people know way in advance that this is happening, number one, and the fact that they can have one-on-one time to talk with all of their different, different people that are there. I think maybe, allowing them afterwards to follow up with people is great, because some of them had drawings, which was very nice to get lead generation for them. But also, I think it was very important that, throughout the entire program, we spotlight and highlighted many, pretty much all of the businesses that were there. And I think they really appreciate that. And in between sessions, we did allow time for people to actually have time to go and talk to all those different businesses that were there sponsoring, that were there doing things. So that's an important piece, knowing that there's time for them to actually tell their cause too.
Yeah, and this is the first time we use a conference app, and that's something we haven't really heavily promoted yet, because with the conference app, they're able to interact between the vendors and attendees before, during, and even after the event. So that's very good for the marketing aspect too.
And it's called Hoover.
Yep, Hoover. I wanted to say woo-wee, no, but it's and I think that's part of it, is earlier educating everyone to get the app, how to use the app, because it was very confusing for a first year. I don't know when the stats came back of how many people actually were on it and utilized it, except for the main folks. But maybe even at the very beginning, have a session. All right, everybody download the app. Here's how you use it. Maybe just before it starts, we can just have a session on how to use it, and even during it. But yeah, I agree. Ahead of time, trying to get more people to sign up and utilize that app, so then they can talk to other people even during the conference.
So
Right.
we actually have a line of the volunteers. They are helping folks when to use and also download the app when they just check in. That's the first line of the education. And later on, we are trying to help people, remind them whether they haven't loaded their app, and also send out the email. That is the perk for them to listen to the recording. All the lectures are recorded, and they can continue to listen, have access to all the booths and photos. By the way, did you pay attention that we have more than 300 photos loaded on the Hoover app?
Yeah.
So people can have the up to 90 days after the event continue to have access to it. One thing about the commercial, I do want to point out something very interesting is you are such a great TV commercial producer yourself. So I remember, I think you got on stage and then you were munching on a piece of the chocolate bar from Prolong Boost. And you said,
Yes.
can you do that again?
Well, I'm gonna have to I can leave right now and go grab one, but no, because it was on the fasting diet, and they have a little chocolate which had caramel in it, and of course, I didn't realize, when I started talking, how gooey it was. So I actually put it in my mouth, and when I was going to say something, I went, and it got kind of sticky in my mouth, but it was oh so good of chocolate, I tell you. And I love chocolate, and it's like, this is good for you, So I went back and got 3 of them.
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret.
Okay, good. Don't tell anybody.
That's right.
Excellent.
Yeah, so guys, I really want to thank you for chatting with us. It's very nice to get some insight story from you, and it not only to see how we did last year, and it really can help us prepare for next year with your insight right there.
Nope, it was great to be here, and I kind of like the name of your Healthy Steps to Wellness, especially with May and Dr. J. And I think we're gonna have to come up with a jingle, May and Dr. J living healthy, or no, something.
Oh, love it.
We'll come up with something bizarre.
Oh, wow. It's so much fun to have you at our show, Ron, especially at our early stage of the show. We we truly look forward to the growth of this podcast. And so it's a place to allow everybody to chat about the healthy lifestyle, healthy living, and have a more local or national experts to share their knowledge, but also take your advice. Some great testimony from people in the community, regardless you are any profession, that the stories always help people to understand how the first step work and how the first step is so important, leading to the optimal health.
Yep.
Right.
So, yeah.
People sometimes forget that doctors are human too. You know, we
They
get
are.
sick, we have different genes. We're human. It's not that we don't talk about medicine or we don't take medicine. But anyway, yes, testimonial from doctors doing non-doctor things. Yes, we can do that too.
So, no, I appreciate it. And like I said, just remember me as you grow this podcast and become, worldwide stars.
Would do. I hope our listener will feel encouraged to take those small, meaningful steps toward their own well-being, whether it's through the better nutrition, movement, connections, or restful sleep. It's never be too late to be healthy. So,
Yes,
Ron, yeah,
and the point is, it is really just keep moving. No, not
yeah.
just physically, but mentally and lifestyle medicine wise. Just like I mentioned, all 6 pillars, pick on something and do it every day, just moving on your journey to better health.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming, Ron. Since you retired, we don't want to bug you too much, but we know how to find you.
You know how to find me.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
yes, yeah. So hopefully that in the future you'll come back to our show again and to share with our audience about your retirement life and anything new. So we also want to see you in the next year's event as well.
And I promise not to, maybe I'll come back and show you my tan lines. No, I'm joking.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure having you, Ron, and enjoy your retirement. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.